Today is Sunday, January 14th, 2018, and you're listening to Comm Chatter Off Duty. I'm Aldrin Garand, and with me today is Mediaflare.
Hello there.
And once again, Fizzleclaw.
Hello there.
Otherwise known as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh dear.
It's been a little bit longer than I intended, but we're here, we've got a little bit of news, and we've got a few topics to discuss. And I don't remember how this goes, so we'll just cut it here. You've already heard from Fizzle, but do you want to just give us a really brief overview of who you are?
I'm Mediaflare, also known as Captain Morosini. I'm the founder / community manager of Star Citizen Roleplay RP.net. I also have a YouTube and Twitch channel on the side. I do minor gameplay. Once 3.0 becomes stable, I'll be doing streams and highlight reels of roleplay for Star Citizen, but it's just not quite there yet.
All right. Now, what exactly is SCRP for those who don't know? Because all three of us are part of it.
Right. Star Citizen Roleplay is a hub org, in which it's not exactly like an org like there's no requirement for membership or anything like that. It's a way to connect other roleplay orgs together, because the search system in Star Citizen is really difficult. It's really hard to narrow down what you actually want to try and find when you're searching, or like a lot of non-roleplay orgs will have the roleplay tag because they're okay if you want to do it. So we decided to create a central hub so that all roleplay orgs can gather together. They can communicate with each other, organize events with each other. If you're looking for a certain type of organization to join, or if you wanted to hire out to a different play style, you know exactly where to go and who to contact because it's all listed out there. Basically a way of creating a social hub for all of the role players in Star Citizen.
In other words, if you don't have any friends, go there.
I have to say, I'm amazed how many people are in there. I mean, the Spectrum's pretty quiet, but it's Spectrum. What do you expect? But
right, yeah, it's not exactly what people were hoping for in terms of a forum style.
Yeah, but the Discord is pretty busy a lot of time.
Oh yeah, we have plenty of fun in there. We're all kind of just anxiously waiting for 3.0 to be stable enough so that we can play in there long enough to actually do something before falling through our ships or turning into golf balls.
Or have
Or
the
being
engines
killed.
just turn themselves off, or phase through a planet.
I'm telling you, that's the aliens' work. I want to bet that there's some kind of extraterrestrial in the game. We just haven't found it yet. They're like turning off our goddamn engines. Fucking trolls.
I mean, we've got sentient plankton now, so for all we know, we might have EMP ghosts out there.
Oh yeah.
I really expect that to be a big thing at some point, or at least have a mission centered around it.
Oh yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the SCRP group? Or is
I think that just about covers it.
But anyway, there's an organization page, of course, on the RSI website, and there's a Discord channel. Feel free to join either. It's a great place.
All are welcome to come and check it out. Even if you don't want to join up as an affiliate, you can hang out in our Discord and join us in our events once we get those going.
Yeah, just remember not to do some things like changing your profile picture to you killing someone. That's a really bad idea.
I've really got to poke Pixley one of these days and get him to join up. He was part of the old SCRP back when it had the original website, but...
Oh, back when it was on the engine?
No, before that. The first one.
Oh, when it was the roleplay contact list?
Something like that.
Ah.
A long time ago. I think that was back when we had Birdson on. Okay, so... the news. We'll just get through this real quick, because there's nothing really go into detail. 3.0 is live, in case you've been under a rock. Really buggy, but live. I don't know about you two, but when I'm not too busy crashing or anything like that, I'm having a good time with it.
I haven't actually been playing it that much since it's gone public. I hopped in every once in a while just to see if there were any hot fixes to change things, but I can't. I get a little too stressed out right now the way it is, so I'm peacefully just watching from the background until someone lets me know that 20 is the new average frame.
If you get lucky, you can get a good server for that. There have been times where I've gotten a good 50, 60 FPS regularly and haven't crashed or anything.
It's pretty good.
Well, I think, obviously this is probably a controversial opinion. I'm not a big fan of 3.0, mainly because it feels like they're making too many ships and too little fixes. I really want these fixes soon so I can play the game. But of what I played when I went to a planet, it was stunning, fucking beautiful, but it's the small moments that really capture the Star Citizen feel, and I feel like there's not enough of the small moments and too many of the grand ones, like an orc suddenly going to fucking haywire and wants to kill you. And else, yeah, it's good. Just buy it now.
Yeah, just be careful before you spend thousands and thousands on ships and stuff. It's real easy.
Yeah, we're getting quite a wave of buyer's remorse on the forums right now. A lot of new people are buying into the game because they saw the new Squadron 42 gameplay demo, which was beautiful, expecting that the game is at least that kind of ready. But then they come in and see that we're currently in this really awkward hiccup in between 2.6 and 3.0.
I don't regret spending as much as I have on the game. I just kind of wish I didn't. Not because of the money. I suppose I do regret it a little bit then. Again, not because of the money, which is a stupid amount. I'm not going to say how much. But because I'm missing out on a big part of it. Earning my way to certain ships.
Right, being able to work yourself up there.
Yeah, like when I started, I planned on just getting that Aurora and earning every other ship. And it didn't really bother me that much upgrading to the 300i or to the Hornet. But everything I've gotten since then...
It's a snowball, you know? Like, I upgraded from the standard package to the Aurora LX. And I felt pretty cool. And then the anniversary sale showed me the Freelancer MIS, and I jumped on that right away. A couple of months down the line, or a year or so down the line, really, they showed the Endeavor, and it was just over.
Yeah, I remember when they sold the Orion, I thought that was going to be the only other ship I was going to buy. I've pretty much been a miner in just about every game where you can do mining. It's one of the big focuses of Pick and Shield. And I just liked the style of it. And,
yeah, it's a pretty ship.
But then I've bought a whole bunch more, and now the Orion is bigger than Idris. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to flying that thing. Or paying for the fuel. Next up, updates. Until now, they've pretty much been content-driven. We've had to wait until a certain thing, or a group of things, is done, which is what took so long to get 3.0 out. And it's still not all there. If you were still waiting on everything, it'd probably be another few months at least. But going forward, CIG is switching updates to a quarterly-based update format, with smaller updates for bug fixes, patches, etc. in between. The first one, 3.1, is going to go live at the end of Q1, beginning of Q2. It'll be mostly updates, bug fixes, that sort of thing. Maybe with a little bit of content. They've been kind of quiet about that. I think they said there would be some, but they didn't specify what. So yeah, hopefully once that's out, everyone will be able to play 3.0 without too many problems. And it won't be a slideshow at Olisar. And to go along with that, a lot of the content has been pushed back a bit, like mining, which was going to be in 3.1, is now going to be in 3.2, if they get it done in time. If not, it'll get pushed back to an intermediate patch, or 3.3.
I just want to stress to listeners at that point that don't get too upset if a major update like that does get pushed, because if you are here right now experiencing 3.0, that means that we will not have to deal with that large of a hiccup again. I know, like, you might be excited for mining, but if it's not quite ready and if it's going to be breaking the game, it's fine to hold on to it for a minute and let them roll it out later while they're just patching up and shining up the game and making it much more playable for us in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. They're only going to be releasing things when it's ready, not when it's good enough, like they did with 3.0.
Right.
When 3.0 initially went live, it was bad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they did some small patches before they all went on their actual break. There were some people working through it, but it's a hell of a lot better now than it was then.
Yeah, personally, I believe that it wasn't ready. I think they should have held off, but at the same time, so that they could meet their new quarterly thing, it does make sense to get it out before the beginning of the first quarter. We were all screaming for it on the forums, which unfortunately turned to us all now screaming that they gave it to us on the forums. But it's fine that they put it out, I suppose. It's terrible, but it will get better.
I mean, they had to do something. At the very least, they had to make it, public PTU over the holidays. But if they didn't do anything like that, they would have just gotten eaten alive.
Oh yeah, no, people would have been screaming 3.0 when throughout the new year.
Well, at least they got it out before their winter break. They just got a year on.
Yeah, but when has CIG been reliable on scheduling anyway?
For sales? I think that's about it. So, the lawsuit. I'm sure most of you have heard about it at this point, but short version is Crytek sued CIG for abandoning CryEngine. There's more to it, but that's my understanding is that's the big thing. However, CIG claims that they aren't required to use CryEngine.
Actually, CIG released an open statement of all the evidence they had against Crytek's thing and said, okay, well, if you just stop suing us, nothing will happen. So they're trying to make them withdraw, but if they don't withdraw, it's looking very bad for Crytek. And you gotta remember, Crytek's last major launch title was Rise, Son of Rome, which didn't do very well on the sales list. So
you mean they don't look bad already?
They are not. They're definitely not battle ready. If they don't win this, they could easily collapse their own industry, which is bad, because Crytek releases CryEngine and keeps updating the CryEngine, which is used in numerous and thousands of fucking games, and it's really bad if a big studio like Crytek does that. They'll probably have to go back to EA or Microsoft and work with them instead, which can easily change a few things.
If anyone really wants to get into it, there is a guy on YouTube called Leonard French who kind of goes into detail on this and more or less puts the thing in plain English.
Yeah, he presents it very well.
Basically, just look up CIG Crytek lawsuit, YouTube, something like that. You'll find it. I highly recommend you watch it if you're interested in this.
That's right, getting informed and then form an opinion of your own.
But really, no matter what, I can't see this going good for Crytek. Assuming, unless they just let it go.
It's been an awkward experience for everybody.
Yeah.
I think CIG is also just sitting like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
Next up, we've got a new website on the way. I think they said it's supposed to go live on the 23rd? That's just off the top of my head, though. I don't have anything pulled up right here. Sometime
Actually, I haven't been following any information on that.
What's that?
Actually, I haven't been following any information on the new website.
It's kind of controversial, I think. A lot of people don't like how it looks. A lot of people are bashing Turbulent because they think they're just not doing a good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any of it?
I saw the preview image, I believe, that people in Evo got as an email. But beyond that, just because it was such little information, I didn't really feel like digging and looking for much more. I was just kind of waiting for it to happen, I suppose.
They did a short ATV a little while ago. I think it was the first one of the new year. Basically focused on the new website. They're kind of trying to improve the new user experience, I guess. I'm not sure what I think about it, but I can't really judge it until we have it in our hands to really use.
Right.
As much as I don't really care for Spectrum, I'm glad they're integrating that into the whole website, though. Because, a lot of the time, I don't want to open up Spectrum to see if I've got a message or someone replied to something. I just like being able to see that little thing up in the corner.
Oh yeah, the notification bell. Okay.
And I hope they didn't show anything about it, but I hope they do pass on org pages too.
Yeah, I know, like there has been supposed to be an Org 2.0 update forever.
I think this Spectrum was org 2.0.
Well, in that case, I will admit I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping for a little bit more for the org pages.
Yeah, I mean, like the org I'm in, it stopped recruiting when org 2.0 was supposed to be a few months out. Just figured instead of sending everyone to the old websites, we would send them straight to org 2.0 on the RSI site. But then a few months turned into a few years. And here we are with 2 people in it. I think 3 people in it now. One of which is kind of off SC until it's later in development. Which basically leaves me leading it.
Right. Well, congratulations on the passive takeover then.
Yeah, you're a good leader, Dad. What?
I really do hope they improve it a bit. It might just be because I don't have full access to it. I just have the access that can be granted. But it seems rather limited in what you can do. Like certain fonts or styles are reserved for certain organization types, rather than being able to switch them at will. Colors as well.
Yeah, it's still very, very skeletal in terms of what I think it can be done.
And to go along with changes, Lore Tuesdays are changing.
Woo!
Fuck's a Lord Tuesday.
You know how they have like this thing, like news article from in-game or something?
The Spectrum dispatch posts and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the first Tuesday is going to be Lore Maker's Guide. The second Tuesday is going to be Jump Point Vault and subscriber content. Third Tuesday is going to be the original content or Lore Builder. Something.
It'll be a little bit of that and a little bit of Lore Builder itself, which is a way to help like add more depth to the universe.
Fourth Tuesday is Serialized Fiction, which are stories of Jump Point. And the
right, those are stories within Star Citizen, so fiction within fiction.
You mean they're not from Star Wars?
Hello there.
Okay, and the fifth Tuesday, if there is one, will be again original content or Lore Builder stuff. So for 2018, that's January, May, July, and October.
I'm pretty interested in this new change in the release schedule. I enjoy the serialized lore. It's super meta, fake books inside a fake universe. The stories are pretty fun. You also get to learn a little bit about how characters interact inside the verse because they're writing about the universe still. The third and fifth Tuesday are going to be my favorite. I eat up Spectrum Dispatch stuff. That's where I get most of my information. I jump onto those articles as soon as I see a new one getting posted, so I'll look forward to more updates through that.
Yeah, same here. Those are pretty much what we used, the in-character versions of the show. But we stopped doing it as frequently because we found the lore posts, well, those ones, didn't seem quite as good as they used to be. Like, we started getting a lot more things like Star Watch.
Well, you're not a fan of celebrity gossip?
Not particularly.
Well, I suppose they're going to keep rotating between all of those different things: Clean Shot, Booty Call, Star Watch, all those.
Yeah.
Because it also does provide like different aspects of gameplay and interests, between bounty hunters, cargo runners, musicians, Fizz.
What do you mean? What's music?
I will be interested if they add any option for interactable instruments in the verse.
Yeah, give me a guitar and I'll wank someone with it.
You'll wank someone?
Okay, you guys are you wouldn't understand that one. Basically, when someone's being a wank, it's a bad thing in England.
Right, a wanker.
Okay.
Yeah. So you wank someone with it, you bash someone's skull in with it.
I figured it was something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was Sonwing posted the video in the SCRP Discord. Basically, you could play music in Lord of the Rings Online.
Oh yeah, Songwing.
Yeah.
The instrument system in Lord of the Rings Online is where you can basically make your own notes and shit. It's very cool, honestly, and I think they should definitely add that because I would love playing a piano and be singing some classics at least.
That'd be pretty good for bar role play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there would actually be a musician occupation if I doubt you're the only
For
person
all
that would
those
want
long
to do
passenger travels,
Yeah, 'cause-
you can have a musician entertain the travelers.
it. Yeah, you're gonna need something
Yeah.
on the Starliner trips. It's not like it's gonna be instant. You're gonna be sitting there for possibly hours.
Those long quantum jumps.
I should be very careful with the kind of people I do it for. Imagine a bunch of pirates being like, "Hey, are you gonna play music for us, mate?" I'm gonna be like, "Oh, sure." Oh, shit. But I also need to be very careful with what language I choose when I go out into the West because our people are gonna be very gentle about it, and I'm very, what's the word? Vulgar?
Swarthy.
Which is why
Rude.
you do it from your ship and put big engines on it.
Oh yeah.
Just
Why do you think I have the Cutlass Black?
I was gonna say that. Just have like a roving band of musicians, just going from planet to
Parade.
planet or station to station.
You have
would be
no
a-
idea how many times I would sing "Somebody Once Told Me."
Well, that's all I've got for news. Is there anything you guys know of that I don't?
I'm pretty sure you're as up to date on info as I am.
Yeah. One thing, Chris Roberts, please notice me. That's all.
He did notice the show once, a long time ago. Well, it might not have been him. It was probably someone else at CIG, but we did get recognition in a Comlink post. A
Nice.
long time ago. That was cool. Too bad things went to crap right after. Okay, so the big discussion topics. Now that we spent probably way too long on the news, which I meant to keep it like 10 minutes.
Right, this small
Oh,
talk
well.
got large.
Oh, well, that's alright. The last time we talked about RP and, basically what it is, how to do it, etc., was way back in the day. I'm talking like episode 1 or 2 or something like that. A good probably 3 years ago. I figure it's time to do it again.
Oh yeah. I
Back to
can
the roots.
talk for fucking days.
I can't really think of anyone that would be better at it than, Media and Fizzleclaw.
We're from two different worlds. He's the voice guy. I'm the chatty type guy who just sits like days and just.
Alright, so what exactly is RP? And not that kind. Get it out of your heads.
ERP? Oh damn. I
Oh
can.
my.
Let's go on for days about that. No.
No.
Role playing is essentially a very pure form of escapism. You pick the character you wish to be. You don't have to give them these outrageous personalities. You can go very psychological about it and say, well, personalities always change, don't they? Well, they do, but you need to keep in mind that this is a character. You're basically essentially writing or talking a story. It's like you're the director of your own instrumented life.
Yeah, it's the way I would put it is it's when a player immerses themselves into the game and they feel like they're truly there, so they start getting involved in the universe around them. They start meeting with other characters and interacting with each other, trying to create their own stories and plots.
So the real question is, why do it? Well, it's, as I said, a form of escapism. I wouldn't completely bow down to that because it's also very entertaining. Like, you get these moments, these better than life moments that are both absolutely hilarious and sour sweet. Like one of your best friends died in character, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, damn, how do I emote that?
Yeah, like I don't even know how I would deal with that if someone I knew died in character, because it would have to be a completely different person, even if I know it's the same person on the other side of the screen.
I'm talking about when they come back as their next of kin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it might feel weird if it's your first time hearing someone with the same voice pretending to be a completely different person, but I think so long as the characters last long, so long as they don't get permadeath within like the first week of roleplay. You build your bonds with them. You have all of these awesome stories to talk about, and then when they finally do pass away, it's a little bit of roleplay and a little bit of real life reactions when they go. So you get a good moment there.
And the good thing about role-playing is there's always a sense of fulfillment. When you have had all of these stories, you can talk about it with your friends in real life if they even do care about that kind of stuff. But you can also talk with it to the person who is deceased in roleplay, and you can be like, "Oh, I'm actually really sad about this," and you can back each other up. And you can't really always do that when people are deceased. So it's a nice way of dealing with sorrow, a very deep sorrow, like an artistic kind of sorrow that just goes down into you, and it's very intriguing, actually.
I don't know about you guys, but my character is not going to want to die.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best to stay alive as long as possible, but I do have some loose plans for alternate characters when I do finally kick the bucket, because it will be inevitable in the verse.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I've got too much money invested in certain ships to go in the opposite direction, but I've got ideas too.
Well, also, if you die from some stupid shit like a troll or something, then it's just not fun, and you can just go back to being the same character. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, it's perfectly fine if you do get really attached to your character and you perma-die, if you wanted to create your next of kin to be the exact same person, and just kind of explain it away with a lucky close call, just another rescue, happenstance pickup by an Endeavor Hope.
Oh yeah, like else it would be an entire family of fucking musicians. Like that would be weird.
Yeah, musicians that all look the same, sound the same, play the same.
Yeah, play the same. Yeah, we all gonna be Frank Sinatra, every single one of us. We all did it our way.
No, we used to do it. I keep going back.
I'm gonna let media take the first one.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I mean, there's two different main ways to do roleplay in the game, and that would be the traditional way in most games, which is text roleplay, and then the one that I personally think will work better in Star Citizen, which is voice roleplay. And you can scale your roleplay to your own comfort levels. It can be light roleplay, just playing the game without mentioning any outside information, like not bringing up the new Deadpool movie or something like that. That's fine. Or you can get all the way hardcore, 100% in character all the time. Honestly, just the way you get immersed into games themselves are ways that you are role-playing, like tactical immersion, strategic immersion, and narrative immersion. As so long as you're getting really invested into the game via some sort of mechanic, story, or just feeling in the zone, you can be role-playing it in a light way. You can create a character with an elaborate background, with a tragic history or something like that, or you can shoot from the hip with just a name and a personality and build your character just from story and experiences.
Yeah, like when I started, my character was pretty much just going to be a slightly older, slightly more ballsy version of me in space. Although I've kind of expanded on it since then. I've got a little bit of a backstory, kind of a little ideas for personality, but it's definitely developed since then.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good starting point for people if they don't know or don't want to create a completely unique character. Is just use yourself 930 years from now. That's what I'm doing also. I base my character off my own real life experiences and personality, and that's what I'm going to roll with. So it's much more comfortable, and it's not like I have to completely change how I think or alter my voice or anything. It will just be me in the game, and that'll give me enough time to shake off the roleplay dust. By the time I permadeath, maybe I want to be an angry Scotsman or something by then.
Yeah, can I share a story about how I started doing roleplay as released?
No stories and roleplay talk.
Oh yeah, oh my god, it's trivial, fucking damn, news, right? Roleplay on a roleplay channel? Are you kidding me?
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, okay. So when I was around 6 years old, I played one of the Total War games. I think it was Medieval 2, I'm not sure. I don't even know. Yeah, so I grew so invested in me being this commander that I was like, giving orders to these things that could never understand me because I spoke Danish, and there was a screen between us. While I grew very invested in this army, and I loved all of it because I always kept one unit and made sure that they survived because I really liked that unit. And that's basically how I grew into a role player, because then I started like going into MMOs. My brother had World of Warcraft, which back then was a huge deal, and when I was around 10, I got my own, and I acted like a character, and obviously back then I had no idea what to do, and it taught me English, and it was very funny because my first role-playing experience was where I was playing a female blood elf, and I met a guy and said, "Wow, you're handsome," or something along those lines, and we just sat and talked for fucking ages, and I didn't even know what I was talking about. Like, it was just out of the blue, and then I grew very invested in this character shit, so I began writing my own things, and I got better progressively, and now that I'm 18 and young and dumb, I really enjoy that I can put my artistic reasoning into not only music and songs and whatever I want to write at that moment, but I can also go into a game where I can manipulate my own character and say, this is the character. He has this and that background, and that's why his personality is like this. You have these justifications. Obviously, I used to be someone who would primarily text RP, but Mediaflare actually completely talked me over to going with voice doing Star Citizen because it's more practical, and also because Mediaflare is very charismatic. And it's very good.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing voice too. I've never really done a whole lot of RP before. The extent to which I've done it was basically making a small backstory for my character in Pirates of the Burning Sea. But really, that's about it. The limited amount of RP I've done for Star Citizen is, I've done much more than I have for everything else combined.
I've actually done very little roleplay in Star Citizen so far because I kind of grew out of the text roleplay style. And right now, that's pretty much the only option is forum RP or text RP. I used to do a lot of it way back in the day when I was in like 14, 15 on Gaia Online, or Star Wars Galaxies is my starting point for roleplay. I just kind of grew impatient of asking something or doing something dramatic in text, and then watching two characters awkwardly stand facing each other for a good 2 minutes before I get a response. So I kind of evolved into the more dynamic roleplay of using voice, especially in Star Citizen, because the way the game's laid out, it just seems much more efficient and immersive to use voice over text. Not saying that either is a bad choice. If your preference, we have a lot of players in our org that prefer text over voice. If you can make it work in the verse, then it's what's you're gonna do.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You don't always have the time to get into the verse, so our Discord has these role-playing servers where you can make your own scene with a bunch of dudes and just say, okay, let's just role-play, have our characters meet, fuck it, a bar, whatever, and then you can do whatever you want, basically. Obviously, no erotic role-playing on our servers.
Right.
And if you do want to erotic roleplay, just send someone a wisp and go, hey, you want to fuck? That's it. keep it private. So, Mediaflare, what is your character?
Oh, well, that's actually funny. So I have kept my first name sort of a mystery. It started off as kind of a running joke, and I just kind of locked in with it. But I will give my full name here on the stream just for a fun little Easter egg. My character in the verse is Captain Mahdi Morosini. I was born in 2919 on Earth Sol System, attended university at Rice in the Raider System in 2936, dropped out 2 years later, enlisted in the United Earth Army in 2938 as an infantryman, ended service in 2944, and began freelancing work while studying field medicine on the side.
What about you, Garant? What is your character? Is he an old man?
My character's name's Alden Grand, obviously. Born 2911.
That's a lot of grey hair.
No, he'd be in his late 30s. Well, right now he would be in his mid 30s, but probably late 30s, early 40s by the time the game launches. It's
Well,
not.
that'd be about right then.
It's not a big deal considering people live well into their 120s.
80s.
Started as a just a Terra citizen, not UE citizen. Ended up working for a small transport company that had a minor disaster and closed. Had to go into the Navy to support himself. Brief stints in that. Got out. Started a small company of his own. After a while, started having run-ins with pirates as they started doing runs to more dangerous systems. Things happen. Eventually joined Pick and Shield, and here I am.
Nice.
I could go into more detail, but I don't have the. I don't actually have the document saved on this computer.
I like to keep my, if I do have to give someone a character description or bio, I like to keep it pretty short, because it's much more interesting to learn about someone's character through interactions and experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, your backstory doesn't really matter a whole lot to another person. It's who you are rather than who you were, I guess. Like who you are going forward.
Right. It's fine reading that someone lost their parents in a disaster when they were a kid, but it's much more interesting learning about that through chatting with them or having them bring up their trauma later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fizz, who are you?
Oh, fuck. Okay. My character's name is Drelvundar, and his stage name is Martin Sweet, which is a reference to my real name, which is Martin Kier, and that actually does me Martin Sweet or Martin Cute. He is a musician, and he's around the age of 21 or 22. He is known, at least in his own respective right, for his relative baritone way of singing, and his parents are still alive, so no sob stories there. I'm sorry. And he studied music in England, Ontario, and he did his best to basically pass, but he later dropped out because there was a girl on another planet that he was like, oh yeah, I gotta meet her. And it actually ended up being a sour disappointment after he had all of his money stolen from him. So he's kind of a from rags to riches musician.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I had it all written out. I made a script. I come prepared.
I suddenly have to wonder how common, not sob stories, but sort of what would you call it? How many people had like a small disaster or something?
Oh, tragic backgrounds.
Yeah. I mean the typical superhero thing. You know, they've all got something that went horribly wrong, and
yeah, it's very common actually. That or the ace pilot background.
Yeah, because
it sounds insulting when you use the term, but it's very Mary Sue. When people are creating their characters, that you want to feel like you're an important character. So they kind of end up sweetening it up a little too much with tragic origin stories or special forces training and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. But everyone in the verse has lost their parents, you know. So
yeah, in a narrative perspective, it's fine. Narratives and books, novels, they're one place, you know. So no matter if it's a tragic background or whatever that forced the characters to do something, then it makes sense. But I think it also does relate to real life that a lot of people actually have these issues, you know, and it's a way of working it out. They might be overdoing it a little by saying, "Oh, my dad is dead," but that's just how it is. And I think it's fair that they use this as a form of, as I said, escapism, and they just go home and be like, "Oh yeah, this is good. My narratives are pleased." But it can be overdone. Trust me. I met someone whose character was basically first his dad abused him, then he killed his father, and then he killed his mother because he grew insane, and then he regrets what he had done. Then he joined the Navy. He became a special forces unit. Then his entire crew died because he made a wrong decision, and it was just, it got too much, and you really got to be careful with that because some people are nitpicky fucks when it comes to role playing. So be careful, Lewis.
Yeah, it's a fine line between, I don't want to say good backstory and going overboard, but I can't think of a better way to put it.
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's perfectly fine to have any sort of background so long as it's good, and then you can oversaturate it too much with too many events or too many bragging points, I should say.
I also think we're all guilty of that.
I mean,
At
it's
some point, yeah. I mean, I've made plenty of too powerful to be killed characters back when I used to do text roleplay and that kind of garbage.
I mean, it's easy. Every other game out there makes you the hero, and you have to mod them so you're not.
Right, and since the mindset is, I mean, you are the main character in your own story, so you want to make your character interesting. You just want to make sure that you're not trying to force yourself to be the main character in everyone's story.
So, are we ready to talk about the big discussion that's very dangerous called escapism? Oh dear.
That's
Ready as I'll ever be.
Alright, so
Is it
a little
not
background.
very?
Tolkien didn't believe his form of works as escapism. He believed it as something more. It's too easy to just shrug off as escapism. I partially agree, but I also think escapism is a big part of it. So, in the verse, if you're going to be an office manager, you're probably not an office manager in real life because you don't want to do the same that you always do. You know, you always want something new, something interesting. And the thing about it is, people will always find a way to make it interesting. Like, imagine if Harry Potter didn't have magic. That would just be a story about Harry Potter going to school every day and having abusive parents. And Narnia wouldn't be interesting if there was no Narnia. I mean, come on. And what about Star Citizen? No spaceships based in 2018? Let's walk around. Woo.
Well, yeah. I mean, escapism allows people to put their real life on pause and get immersed into something else or walk away from some stressors. It allows you to kind of just experience something completely different, get your mind off of things. You got to be careful with it, though. Like Frode Stenson mentioned that there's two forms of escapism: self-suppression, which stems from the motives to run away from unpleasant thoughts. You know, like you had a bad day, so you're trying to not think about it, so you hop into Star Citizen and play your character out. There's also self-expansion, which stems from motives to gain positive experiences through the activity, which would be, you know, you wanting to hop in the game just because you want to. You're excited to see like the next chapter of your story, the next exciting mission you're going to go on. It's important not to use escapism as a tool to like ignore real life problems.
Well, there's a golden nugget for you. Mediaflare says, confront your damn problems. Unless they're serial killers. Don't do that. But yeah, I think it's very interesting how I'm gonna reference an author called Brandon Sanderson. He has written the Cosmos universe, which is a big universe where most of his work is interwoven. It's a very good thing, and a lot of people like to use that as a form of the purest form of fantasy. There's a lot of different kinds of fantasy: high fantasy, low fantasy, whatever. But I think the key element is that there's always a hero, and you'll always be the hero. But when you're role-playing, it can't always be that. So instead of using it as a means of literature, something you can analyze, don't go too up and hoity about it and take it like it's real life. You know, you need to remove some of your sensory systems and apply them to your character instead. And by doing that, when someone comes up to you and says, "Do you know that way?" you will immediately say, "What are you talking about?" Instead of, "Do you know that way?" Because it isn't centralized. Like, your life, you might not know about these grand memes that exist in the West even. So it's going to be your own open interpretation of the world, or even better, your character's interpretation of the world that's going to be ruling your character. So try not to make it overly negative, because that'll make some people take some concern and even put it into real life. And some people like to attack other people on the internet, and you just need to be careful about that, because it's really a sensitive subject for some. And there goes my script. My phone just crashed. Nice.
That's a shame. I didn't really have much for this. I mean, other than basically what you said. You know,
In real life and in works of fiction, you are the hero, always. And never forget that.
like, until you want to be the hero in Star Citizen, you walk out the door and you get shot in the face and you're dead. Because you have permadeath.
Yeah, don't go against authority. That's a bad idea.
There are some... Frick.
Got that thought right on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, like, you know how you said you probably don't want to do something you do in real life? There are always exceptions. Like, if there's something you really like to do in real life, or you used to do, you might want to do it anyway. Like Dad Lando. He's in his mid-70s now. He's into SC. And he's going to run a paramilitary group. Like, I don't know if it was mercenaries or something along those lines. He's doing it because the sense of camaraderie that he had, like, back when he was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and like me, I mean,
it's like there are a lot of things in the Star Citizen community that you can get that you don't get anywhere else in.
Like spaceships.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like my character is kind of gonna will be a little bit of the same way. Like, I was never in the military myself, but a sort of a clan sort of thing I did for a long time was sort of the military, and I'll kind of draw off that when I'm on the job with the org.
yeah. I mean, there's always exceptions about that in there, because I think people who are musicians and have jobs that are very creative are probably gonna pick those jobs and take them into Star Citizen, like I, even though it's not a job because I don't have a band. But I mean, it's very open in terms of such, and that's one of the things about escapism, because we people who would very much like to sing for all of these millions and thousands of people, we just know that it's probably not going to work out that way, and it's a way for us to express our talent, and well, it's not really talent, but what we've learned, what we want to show to people, what we want someone else to understand, you know? So it's our form of delivery.
Is everyone still here?
Yep. I think we just we talked out that section.
Yeah, I just found Pringles and I'm like, yeah.
I could eat some Pringles. Yeah. I feel like there was some stuff I really want to say about escapism, but I can't think of it right now. I didn't write anything down.
I'll give a message to everyone listening. It's a very simple message, but it should do the job. All right, I'm gonna get really in close and be very intimate with you all. No matter what kind of person you are, you can be who you form yourself to be. Escapism or not, this is who you will be. You develop yourself till you are 25, which is proven by studies. And if you keep developing yourself in one certain way, there is a certainty that you will not be that way. Thank you very much.
Very fancy.
Indeed.
These Pringles are really good though. Like...
That's going in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like there was something else I want to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. And I've pretty much let you two run away with this.
Oh shit. No, I haven't. Okay. I just... fuck. Let me clear my mouth. Let me clear my mouth, okay?
Too many Pringles?
Do you have any idea how hard it is to fit 3 Pringles in your mouth and you're like, oh yeah.
Scrub, you can go bigger.
Just get a whole stack in there.
That's actually a good idea. Go bigger, yeah. Fucking well. Go hard or go home.
Well, something we didn't talk about too much. I know a lot of people who are interested in roleplay but haven't really gotten into it, aren't exactly sure how to start. I kind of wanted to touch over the 3 different categories of immersion again to show that technically a lot of you have been role-playing a little bit before even, diving in for the first time. So there's tactical immersion, which is experienced when performing tactile operations that involve skill. Best way to describe that is when you feel like you're in the zone when performing actions. You get that tunnel vision in the game. You're getting very invested. There's also strategic immersion, which that one is a little further away from the roleplay aspect and more on the meta aspect of it being more cerebral, associated with mental challenge. And then there's narrative immersion, which is occurring when players become invested in a story. And that happens a lot in games. If you're playing Fire Emblem and one of your characters that you really like dies, you get upset. You're invested in that world. So it's really just like the fact that you're immersed into the game, you're already absorbed into the universe, you're already role-playing a little bit. And especially in Star Citizen, you can actually have an infinite amount of casual conversations talking about nothing and still be in the verse. I can argue with Fizz over like whether or not you're an Origin or a Misk fan, and that could be considered roleplay because we're arguing about in-game manufacturers and mechanics and stuff like that. So you don't have to stress yourself too much about getting into roleplay for the first time. You don't have to worry about having like a really theatrical voice or even have like a well-established character. You can just get into the game and hop onto someone's ship and just start playing with them, and eventually it'll just you'll start to get the hang of it. Maybe you'll get some ideas of things you want to do along the line. It's nowhere near as intimidating as most people tend to think when you first think about trying to dive into the role-playing universe.
Especially with a game like, Star Citizen, one that has so many grand promises and is going to be so big, you think you're going to need, like, your character, like, all planned out. Personality, backstory, age, likes and dislikes, etc. But really, you could just hop right in. You don't even need to RP really at first. You could just kind of play, get a hand of the game, and then start forming your character around your experiences there.
Yeah.
And just kind of make it up as you go. Before too long, you'll be there.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
I cleared my mouth and I'm ready to say what I needed to say.
Go ahead.
There's a video game called VR Chat. You do not need a VR system, but you can play it and you can go and you can interact with these people. You can become an Animumu character if you'd like to. I have chosen the personification of Obi-Wan Kenobi, General of the Grand Armies of the Republic. Even if it's so simple that I just pick an avatar and say, that's me, that's still role-playing. These people who pick, for example, the Small Knuckles avatar and go around and say, do you know that way? They're still role-playing. They're deep into their characters and truly believes you do know the way. Like, it's beautiful. And something I talked with Garen about earlier, actually, was just a bit of a sidetrack, but let's see how well I handled this segue. Carnivals. Not well at all, but basically a carnival in countries like Denmark are very... You don't go into a place where you pay for something and then you leave, but it's a big open place where people come in costumes, they dress up. Come on, we've all been to Halloween, haven't we? Have you guys been to Halloween?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You've dressed up as a character and you've pretended to be that character. Something as simple as that is actually role-playing. I know, surprising. That hot maid that you see on Pornhub every week? Well, kind of role-playing. It's kind of role-playing, but you should just kind of gloss over the fact that it's a porn video and say, oh, that's actually role-playing. I could use that. Just don't use it on the all forum, please.
No ERP.
No ERP, exactly.
Just 1 second, I gotta move my mic a bit.
But yeah, so you've been to Halloween, you've dressed up. You're going to be a character, you're going to be role-playing. Like, this year I'm going to the Aalborg Carnival, I'm going to be General Hux. I'm probably going to be yelling something about Kylo Ren telling me that my methods are poor, and I'm going to be like, I will not have you question my methods, in a really comic kind of way, and that's still role-playing. You're characters, you're walking around like characters. Slutty police officers? Obviously they're slutty, come on. That's a character.
Yeah, there's
just
and that
try not to do that on Star Citizen. That gets weird.
That brings up another thing. This isn't just something you could do in games. Like, there are, like you said, carnivals like the ones over there. they're different here, but you get the idea. There's reenactments like you could have Revolutionary War, Civil War reenactments.
The SCA.
Yeah, I did some stuff with the SCA
the musical
for a while.
Hamilton.
There's even fantasy ones based on just random fantasies or Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, people running around like elves.
Yeah, the live action roleplay, the LARP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can get those that are from like throwing socks at each other, yelling lightning bolts, pretending to be wizards, or you could have like a full ranger setup out of like Lord of the Rings or some other some other universe. Like I did a little bit of that once. It was more in the middle, kind of the border between historical and fantasy, although it could go either way. But it was a good time. I didn't really have a character built up for that, but you get away from modern life. Then there's also stuff like you can do it for airsoft. People do it there too. Like you see people with World War II get-ups and guns and stuff.
Right, getting very tactical and invested in the fight.
Yeah, but I think that can also get too much for some, at least. It's a very gentle subject for some. When you are cosplaying and dressing up like a character, people are very in character, and when you go up to them and say something stupid, they're probably not going to be very happy about it. Like, God, it's really tough on some. The media often portrays these celebrities, they're normal people. Not you, Mediaflare, but the media. These normal celebrities, and they're like, yo, we're big shots, and people shape themselves up to be these big shots, but I mean, come on. We just need sometimes staying realistic, but well, not realistic, but staying in the tunes of your character, the universe. You begin to channel these extraordinary emotions that your characters have, and I think that's the grand scheme of it all, that you're invested emotionally and physically, even if it's just at your keyboard tapping some shit or your vocal cords going fucking haywire.
What you said about people getting upset if someone comes up to them while they were in character and says something like out of character, just don't get upset about stuff like that if they're actually like legitimately asking about what you're doing or something. Answer them, tell them you're RPing and that you're trying to stick to it. Don't get all pissed off about it. It'll just drive people away.
Especially if they're trying to troll you, you're kind of giving them what they want. There's many different ways you can handle the situation. You can send them a private message or try and stay in character to like help give them the hint that you are role playing. Just no matter what, you do not get upset. Don't feed them if they are trying to troll you, and they might just actually be curious and wanting to know what's going on. So you might even be able to hook a new role player into the universe.
Yeah, exactly, and that's very grand of all of us, isn't it? And we have this sort of, I mean, we're not all, every single person in the SCRP community friends, by no means, but we tolerate and we talk and we have fun once in a while. We are primarily a community with people who are almost the same in wanting to do this and that. So we know who we are, but when there comes a new person who's obviously trying to troll, then it gets, the lines are kind of blurred and you don't always know how to react. So sometimes you react too fast, sometimes you don't, and you really just gotta be careful because people are very gentle about their own creations, and essentially you are your own creation when you're role playing. And I think that's one of the things, at least, that we role players do, that's be our own creation. Some of us, like me, I don't know about you two, are like, who gives a shit about what some dude said about me on the internet when he could have told me face to face and say, hey, what are you doing, mate? And instead of going, lol, that's fucking stupid, mate. You just kind of have to ignore those kind of people. And sometimes you'll draw people in with very benevolent personality, and other times you'll scare them away. But yeah, I'm not joking. These Pringles are fucking...
Another thing is, people you're friends with, out of character, could very well be your worst enemy in character, or, the other way around. Like, I mentioned Birdsong a couple times. She was on the show a while ago. It's probably a couple of years at this point. But, last I knew, she was going to be the leader of a band of pirates. Pick and shield, shoots at pirates. So we could be, good friends, on Discord and, chat from time to time.
Right.
But but the guns could do the talking
separate
in character.
Oh, and just a word of warning, people, be very careful about romance RP. There's a lot of jealousy going on there, and I'm probably getting all of the goals. Yoink.
Well-deserved silence.
Yeet. But no, holy fuck, I actually want to touch on that subject. Can we talk about romance RP?
Well, I feel like that, we're starting to bleed out into other topics, things that we can honestly have an entire segment on their own.
I don't know. I think it's a very big subject because you've got to talk about age, you've got to talk about all of the practicalities involved, and that's just very dangerous, really.
Yeah.
You don't want to be
relationships and roleplay, be it just friends, enemies, or romantic relationships. That can be an entire topic of its own.
Yeah, you can make something up completely, or it could be based on something from real life too. It's like Sonwing. She and her husband play together, and I'd imagine their characters are in relationships too. But I don't know that for sure.
I hope they have a lot of money because apparently me and Songwing are gonna be playing music together. So free tour trips. So in other words, Chris Roberts, invite us to CitizenCon and give us a panel, please.
That
would be so weird.
You two can go up there. I'll stay in the back somewhere.
I honestly think if that happened, me and Mediaflare would have a lot of fun, mainly because people would be like, "What are you talking about? Roleplay? Fucking what?"
Who are these guys?
Especially after the roleplay that went on at what was it, Gamescom? When
the fake dialogue gameplay thing.
Yeah.
Everyone just talking about how cringy that was.
Yeah, no, I never have ever found scripted gameplay to be good.
But that's not entirely what I meant. I meant more like we were sitting there talking about role playing and role players in front of us, and we'd be like advertisers and shit. I would bring my bluest suit.
I would bring my bluest jeans.
That reminds me of something. Would either of you dress up as your character, assuming assuming it's reasonable? Like, I wouldn't expect someone to, go get plastic surgery to look like them. But
well, I already have a pilot jacket, overcoat, and I am working on a flight suit for a Star Citizen cosplay to represent my character. I go to a lot of cons and cosplay.
Yeah, I want to put something together for mine, like a couple of different outfits. Like one that's sort of a kind of a rougher flight or duty outfit, another that's kind of a little sharp or clean for, when you're about Terra or something.
Doing something planet side.
Yeah, something like on Terra or Earth, or where you're not expecting to get mugged or something. Although I've had the idea of trying to make like a set of armor, not necessarily a copy of something from the game, more of a hodgepodge, and you could just say it's like an older generation of armor or something.
Okay, I won't lie to both of you. I'm never gonna make a fly suit, and I'm never gonna put one on. But I am gonna take the leatherist of leather jackets and bring it and say, yeah, that's me. That's my character, mate.
Just put a bunch of Star Citizen patches on it.
Yeah. A big picture of Chris Roberts on the shoulder.
I mean, I've got a MISC patch and an Operation
Go
Pitchfork
cosplay
patch on my
as Chris
jacket.
Roberts.
Oh man, I think
go get a whole bunch of people to dress up as CIG employees. Get one person with the gold shirts, another with the freaking, I don't know.
Yeah, dressing up as my character, I think that's going to be very easy because I'm pretty much my character, except
Yeah,
I'm not as much of an asshole. He's more of a douchebag, really.
Yeah, kind of, same thing. My character wouldn't look that different. Well, he would look different than me, but
I'm definitely going to
not
make
much.
myself look more handsome.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be a little taller and thinner.
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, you probably should have wrapped it up a long time ago, but I'm not complaining.
You're right.
Anyway, do either of you guys want to do any shout-outs to people or groups or what have you?
Yes, everyone immediately join Star Citizen Roleplay. It'll be in the description, and I'm telling him to put the Discord link in the description.
It'll be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you are more than welcome to join our chat group. We're fairly active, mostly just joking around, waiting for bug fixes. If you're an org leader and you want to affiliate with our org, let me know. Send me a private message, and I will add your org to our growing roster of affiliates. And you can represent and recruit on our pages. Feel free to check out my YouTube channel, even though there's not much Star Citizen content on there right now. And keep my Twitch in mind for later when I start doing roleplay streams.
If you would ever like to hear Obi-Wan Kenobi deal with the problems of VR chat, then join me on my Twitch stream, Fizzleclaw. I think we've gone into a very meta territory, haven't we?
Well, thanks for coming on, you two. It was great having you.
Oh, it's great being here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Invite me again.
Yeah, if you ever want to be on again, if you have anything you want to talk about, shoot me a message. If you have something you want me on, just go ahead and ask.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep each other in each other's black books.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Likewise.
That's it for this episode. Be sure to check down the description for a link to Star Citizen Roleplay, or RPNet. If you can't find it, or if I can't post it for some reason because YouTube is YouTube, just look up RPNet, that's RPNET, under the organization page on the RSI website. Thanks for listening, and hopefully it's a little less cringeworthy next time. See you then.